Hello, my name is Lisa Whitehouse and I'm the artist behind Whitehouse Art. For today's tutorial, I'm going to walk you through how to paint a baby panda bear using watercolors. For a full list of everything you need to get started, be sure to check out the video description below and hit subscribe if you want to see other videos just like this one. Alright, so let's dive right in by sketching it out. So first things first, we are going to draw a basic outline of where we want it to end up. So I'm going to do sort of a loose circle of where I want the head to be, and then another one of where I want the body to be. And this just helps me decide how big I want it to be on the page so that I don't end up surprised when it goes over the edges. So the shape of this panda head is going to be a little bit tilted, and it's more of an oval shape. So we're going to start actually drawing in the lines, and I'm going to do them a little bit darker than I recommend you do them, just so that they show up well on camera for you. But you want to keep your lines quite light when you're working with watercolors and sketching out, because you don't want the sketch to show underneath the watercolors. So we're going to draw two little ears, one here and one here. And then we're going to draw the nose, and the nose is about 1/3 of the way up. So we're going to draw a little nose shape. And then we're going to draw where the eyes are going to be. So two little lines right here. And then we're going to have the nose come down and out. And then we'll have the little cheeks here connect up with the mouth. And those are fairly light lines. And then we're going to have the mouth. Now, the black part of the eyes is going to be slightly larger than the eye itself. So we're just going to draw kind of lightly where we want that to go. And then we're going to draw the eyes. Just like so. All right, so next we're going to draw one little arm here. And I might change the size a bit, but once again, I just kind of like to get everything out on the paper. And we're going to draw one arm waving like so. Just like that. And then we're going to have the black come down and meet the arm here. So this panda is waving hello. Then we're going to draw the stomach. Comes down, one little foot here, and then we'll have one little foot here that's kind of pressed up in front. And I'm able to draw this quite dark because we are going to be going over a lot of this with black, so it doesn't really matter if it's too dark. I'll try and make sure I cover it up. And just have it come down here. All right, so now I'm going to erase some of the lines that I don't want to see. So some of these lines where I changed it as I went, I'll erase those because we don't want more lines than we need. We don't want them darker than we need, so. Some of these I might just lighten up a bit. And I'm going to curve this one a little bit because it's looking a little bit jarring to have it like so. I'm always kind of adjusting as I go. But that gives us a good shape. So now we can start adding some color to the painting. Oops, one little line. All right, so whenever I'm working with watercolors, I do tend to work from lightest to darkest. So I'm going to start by filling in all of the lighter parts with some shadowing. And it's easier to always add color, but it's harder to take it away. So that's why I like to start with the lighter parts, because if I go in and do all the darker parts first, what's going to happen when I butt up some clear water to those darker parts is it's going to bleed right into it. And that will make it a little bit messier, a little bit harder to control. So what we're going to do is do all the lighter parts first. And that way, it's easy enough to go in once it's dry and add the darker parts. So I start by adding clear water. And then I drop in a little bit of color, and I'm using some teal for this part. We're just adding a few little shadows here and there. And we're going to use some rainbow colors. So I'm going to do a lot of dropping in clear water, followed by a random color. So I'm going to take a little bit of lime green and butt up some lime green there. And this is going to seem pretty dark for a white spot right now, but once we darken all of the black spots, it won't seem quite as contrasting. So I'm adding a bit of clear water over here on this side. And then I'm going to drop in some yellow. You can pick whatever colors you want. If you want to keep it simple and just have it mostly blues, that's fine. I'm just demonstrating with a bit of yellow and greens. Keep it fun. For the tummy, I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to do pink down here. So I'm adding clear water first. Then I'm going to take a little bit of pink and butt that up to my line. And I can even add some little brush strokes that look like little hairs. You can do the same thing here. Add some little hairs. Have those colors show up again. If you are doing it rainbow, it is nice to try and have them appear more than once. So I'm going to add some yellow down here again. And then maybe a bit here. That's basically it. We're wanting to keep it fairly light. And then last but not least, we're just going to add some in the cheeks a little bit. So I'm going to put in a bit of clear water first, and then I'm going to drop in a little bit of pink right by the mouth, and then maybe a little bit of pink on the outside. All right, so once we have that done, we're going to let it dry completely before we go in and add all of the dark spots. All right, so now that the white spots are all dry, we can go in and start doing the darker areas. So I'm going to follow the same pattern as I did before. I'm going to take my angled brush and I'm going to color in clear water. And then I'm going to take a liner brush. Doesn't matter what size, as long as it has a fine point. And then I'm going to go in and add just some little hair strokes. So I'm using a dark purple and a dark blue. But basically I'm just trying to fill it in and use the tip of my brush to make it kind of poofy. And I just keep adding it until I get the right amount. And I'm okay with a little bit of white showing. As it dries, it will bleed over. And we're gonna just add a few lines, come around the cheek. And then we're going to do the same thing for the eyes. So we're going to leave the eye for now. We'll just color around it. And I'll come in and finish the eye at the end. So same thing again, I'm going to take my dark purple. And I want this purple to be quite saturated, so make sure you're really swishing the brush around in the color, and that way your purple's nice and dark. You want it to almost be black without being black. And if you did want to use a black for this, I would recommend something like a Payne's Gray. It has quite a bit more variation in it, and it's a nice alternative to a straight black if you're wanting to keep it a little bit simpler. All right. And we'll do the other side. Thing. All right, now we're going to do a little nose, and this one we don't have to put clear water first. We're just going to go straight in with a bit of blue. And then make your way down. Wanting this to be nice and symmetrical. And if you notice it's drying lighter, you can always go in and add a bit of the purple as it's drying. I'm noticing mine is a little bit lighter than I'd like. I want these black spots to be nice and contrasting, so I'm gonna go in and add a little bit more. And then I'm gonna add some little brush strokes that look like hairs too. I'm gonna go in and do over here. And I don't usually have many straight lines like that. Most of the time I try and do them in little hair strokes. All right, for the other spots, we're actually gonna use a bigger brush. That way it fills a little more area. So I'm gonna use my angled brush again, fill in this arm. And this arm I'm gonna do it in a dark blue. It's called Prussian blue. I'm just gonna butt right up to the body here. And I want my edges to be made up of little hairs, so I'm just going to use the tip of the brush to add those. You can have it be quite dark here. And I'll leave this little light spot showing. And if it gets too filled in, I might actually just lift a little bit out, just because I do want some of those lighter spots. Now we're gonna go in and do the body, and I'm leaving a thin white line between the arm because I'm actually gonna do the body in purple. And I'm gonna leave this part out too, this other arm. You can see it's bleeding in a bit, but that's no big deal. With loose watercolors, if something bleeds where you don't want it to, just kind of run with it. I mean, if it starts bleeding quite a bit, you can always use a paper towel to lift it out, but I like to just roll with it a little bit. Now that we're almost done the body, I can connect those a little bit more and thin out the white spot between them. And then last but not least, we're gonna fill in this arm. Usually I don't try and do it all at once just because it's a little too much ground to cover. Now for the elbow, I'm gonna have it swing down into the body. And then same with the other spots, just doing those little hair strokes around. And then I'm gonna take a little pink and just drop that in here. And here as well. So we're almost done. We just got the feet left, so we're gonna go in, same as before. And just keep working your way around, just like so. Always making sure to have little hair strokes so that looks a little more organic, no harsh lines. And then last but not least, we'll do this little spot here, and I'm gonna do the foot last. Keeping this one quite dark. I think he's looking pretty cute right now. So we're gonna go in and just darken this. As I said, if you notice any spots are drying lighter than you'd like, just go in while it's still wet. And then what we're gonna do for the foot is we're gonna go in with clear water, and what we're gonna do is do clear water with a thin white line. And then once you got quite a bit of that, I want you to go in and grab the color. Now if this doesn't work out and you end up just filling it with color, that's okay too. This is just a neat way to have the foot be slightly lighter. And it kind of appeals to that looser watercolor style. All right, so now we're gonna do a few splatters just to keep things a little bit fun. So we'll draw some here. And I like to use a brush that holds quite a bit of water to do my splatters because that way it lets go a lot more. Do a little bit of teal, maybe some on the head. Have fun with it. Let them go around on the panda too. And then you can use clear water over top so that some of them are different sizes. If you do clear water, basically anywhere where the clear water hits pigment, it's gonna make some odd size little spots, and I think that's cute. All right, so now we're just gonna do a few little details. So I'm gonna draw some little dots where the face is. And then I'm gonna darken up the nose. And so the nose, I want the top part to stay light, and I'm gonna darken up the bottom part so that that's kind of like the shine mark, if you know what I mean. So now it's lighter right along the top. We're gonna do some little eyes, and this is where I'm gonna use the black. I'm actually gonna fill in the eye here, and be mindful to leave a little white spot, and that makes the eyes look more alive. If you just fill it in all black, they won't have that sparkle. So I'm gonna leave a little white spot along the top. And I'll do this eye, and this eye I'm gonna leave a little white spot along the bottom too. I might go in actually after and add a little bit more, but that's fine for now. And we're just gonna go around and add a few touches of purple here and there, a few little brush strokes, but you get the idea. This is pretty much the finessing part where you're just going around, having fun with it, but it's pretty much done. So you can add a few brush strokes on the white, a few over here. All right, I think he's looking pretty cute, so we're gonna go ahead and sign that. I'm gonna use red to sign it. If you had fun painting with me, be sure to hit the like button and hit subscribe if you want to watch other videos just like this one. Have a great day.